a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Louis Tomlinson. William Tomlinson is an English singer-songwriter and talent show judge. He is known as a member of the boy band One Direction. Tomlinson began his career as an actor, appearing in ITV drama film If I Had You and the BBC drama Waterloo Road. In 2010, he became a member of One Direction after being eliminated as a solo contestant on the British music competition series The X Factor. One Direction has since released 5 albums, embarked on 4 world tours, and won several awards, becoming one of the most successful musical groups of all time. Just Hold On was released as Tomlinson's debut single as a solo artist in December 2016. It peaked at number 2 on the UK singles chart and was certified gold in both the UK and US. In 2017, Tomlinson released Back to You with American singer Bebe Rexha and Miss You. The singles will be included in his debut studio album, which will be released in 2018 by Epic Records. In 2013, Tomlinson was signed as a footballer by Doncaster Rovers of the Football League Championship on a non-contract basis. The same year he also formed his own record label, Triple Strings. As an imprint of One Direction's label Sicko, he appeared on Debrett's 2017 list of the most influential people in the UK. Early life. Tomlinson was born in Doncaster, South Yorkshire, to Johanna Polston and Troy Austin, who split up when he was young. He later took on his then-stepfather Mark Tomlinson's name. His mother died after a short battle with leukemia in December 2016. Tomlinson was a 6th form student at Hall Cross School and is a former pupil of the Hayfield School. He failed his first year of A-levels at the Hayfield School and ended up going back to Hall Cross and starting A-levels again. He had a number of jobs, including at a View Cinema and at Doncaster Rovers football stadium as a waiter in the hospitality suites at Hall Cross. Tomlinson appeared in several musical productions. He admitted to not applying himself academically in school, but he thoroughly enjoyed being with his friends and being involved with musical productions. Taking the lead role of Danny Zuko in the Hall Cross musical production of Grease motivated him to audition for The X Factor. Acting in The X Factor. Tomlinson, along with 2 of his siblings, had extra roles in Fat Friends. After Fat Friends, he attended an acting school in Barnsley. He had small parts in an ITV drama film If I Had You and BBC's Waterloo Road. As a student at Hall Cross, Tomlinson appeared in several musical productions. Being involved with musical productions at Hall Cross gave him a growing sense of ambition and determination. Taking the lead role of Danny Zuko in the Hall Cross musical production of Grease motivated him to audition for The X Factor. Tomlinson later said in a 2017 interview that another motivation for him auditioning for The X Factor was because the band he was in before One Direction, when he was just 14, kicked him out after a new boy came to the school and decided to replace him as their vocalist. "Then I was like, I'm going to go on The X Factor now and fuck you all," he said. Tomlinson auditioned for The X Factor in 2009 where he failed to progress past the producer's audition, but this minor defeat only gave him the determination to return the following year. In 2010, Tomlinson auditioned for the 7th series of the singing competition The X Factor. He failed to progress to the boys category at judges' houses but, after a suggestion from Nicole Scherzinger, a guest judge, during the boot camp stage of the competition at Wembley Arena, London in July 2010, he was put together with Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, Liam Payne and Harry Styles to form a 5-piece boy band, thus qualifying for the groups category. Subsequently, the group got together for 2 weeks to get to know each other and to practice. Stars came up with the name One Direction for their qualifying song at judges' houses, and their first song as a group, One Direction sang an acoustic version of Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. Simon Cowell later commented that the performance convinced him that the group were confident, fun, like a gang of friends and kind of fearless as well. Within the first 4 weeks of the live shows, they were Cowell's last act in the competition. The group quickly gained popularity in the UK. One Direction finished in third place, and immediately after the final their song, Forever Young, which would have been released if they had won the X Factor, was leaked onto the internet. Shortly afterwards it was confirmed that One Direction had been signed by Cowell to a reported £2 million Sicko Records record contract. One Direction, propelled to international success by the power of social media, One Direction's first 2 albums, Up All Night and Take Me Home, released in 2011 and 2012 respectively, broke several records, topped the charts of most major markets, and generated hit singles, including What Makes You Beautiful and Live While We're Young, often described as forming part of a new British invasion in the United States. The group have sold over 35 million records worldwide, according to the band's management company, Modest Management. Their achievements include 2 Brit Awards, 2 American Music Awards, and 3 MTV Video Music Awards. According to Nick Gatfield, the chairman and chief executive of Sony Music Entertainment UK, One Direction represented a $50 million business empire by June 2012. They were proclaimed 2012's top new artist by Billboard. Tomlinson, along with his other band members, appeared in an episode of iCarly in spring 2012. Tomlinson cites Robbie Williams as his biggest influence and idol in an interview with Now magazine. He said, "I've always loved Robbie. He's just so cheeky, he can get away with anything. His performances are unbelievable." He also admires fellow British recording artist Ed Sheeran, describing him as phenomenal. Solo projects and hiatus. Tomlinson appeared on The X Factor in 2015, serving as a guest judge alongside Simon Cowell. Tomlinson also indicated he would be interested in becoming a permanent X Factor judge during the hiatus if he was asked. In 2015, Tomlinson created his own record label, Triple Strings Limited, as an imprint of his current label Sicko. It was reported he was working with Simon Cowell to create a girl band and held auditions in 2015. One Direction went on a planned hiatus starting in March 2016 to pursue individual projects following the release of their 5th album, Made in the AM. Tomlinson released Just Hold On, a collaborative effort with American DJ Steve Aoki, on the 10th of December 2016. Tomlinson and Aoki performed the song Live for the first time on the X Factor UK season finale on the day of its release. Tomlinson dedicated the song and performance to his late mother. The single debuted and peaked at number 2 on the UK singles chart and reached number 1 on the Billboard Dance/Electronic Digital Song Sales chart in July 2017. Tomlinson released the single Back to You, featuring Bebe Rexha and Digital Farm Animals, preceding his debut studio album via his own record label, Triple String. The song peaked at number 8 on the UK singles chart and number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Later, it was announced that Tomlinson had signed a record deal with Epic Records. In an interview with BBC Music, Tomlinson said lyrically his debut album is inspired by Arctic Monkeys and Oasis. He declared, on the 17th of July 2018, it was announced that he would judge alongside Simon Cowell, Robbie Williams, and Ida Field on the 15th series of The X Factor. Football. Tomlinson, whose previous football experience had been to play and run his own pub team called Three Horseshoes, had agreed to play in a charity game at the Keepmoat Stadium in his hometown of Doncaster to raise money for the Blue Bellwood charity, and was offered a deal by professional football club Doncaster Rovers to join the club on non-contract terms after impressing in the game. The deal was brokered for Tomlinson to be a development player and to participate in reserve games, working around his music commitments with One Direction. He was given the squad number 28 for the 2013-14 season. Tomlinson said of the move, "It's unbelievable really. I have been a massive football fan for a long time, and growing up in Doncaster, I've been to plenty of games at the Keep Moat. To be part of the club is incredible." Rovers manager Paul Dickov joked. "He's missed pre-season training and he's having a holiday in America, so we'd better get him over here pretty soon." On the 3rd of September 2013, it was announced that Tomlinson would make his debut for Doncaster's reserve team in their Central League fixture against the Scunthorpe United reserve team on the 18th of September. Doncaster announced that despite the fixture being a reserve game, they would be setting up a special ticket line for the match. On the 8th of September, Tomlinson played for Celtic in another charity match for Stilian Petrov. During the game, Tomlinson was injured following a tackle by Aston Villa and England striker Gabriel Agbonlahor, and was substituted straight away. The tackle consequently caused Agbonlahor to receive abuse from One Direction fans on his Twitter account, and brought an apology from the player. As a result of injuries sustained in the match, Tomlinson was then forced to pull out of the Scunthorpe match, relegating himself to the bench, but promising that the match would be rescheduled. His rescheduled debut for Doncaster's reserve side in the Central League came as a 65th-minute substitute in a 0-0 game against Rotherham United on the 26th of February 2014. A charity match in aid of Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice attended by a crowd in excess of 4,000. Tomlinson later participated in bandmate Neil Horan's charity football challenge on the 26th of May 2014, at the King Power Stadium. On the 19th of June 2014, Tomlinson and former chairman John Ryan confirmed they had taken over as joint owners of Doncaster Rovers. It was later announced the takeover had fallen through, though Tomlinson continues to be involved with the club. Tomlinson returned to Celtic Park on the 7th of September 2014, to take part in the Maestro charity match. Having been recruited to play for Rio Ferdinand's All-Stars against Paul McStay's Maestros, the match was attended by a crowd of around 25,000, with proceeds benefiting several charities including UNICEF, War Child, the Celtic Foundation and the Rio Ferdinand Foundation. Philanthropy. Whilst One Direction has put forth group efforts towards charity work, Tomlinson himself has also been involved in charity work outside the band. He, along with band member Payne, co-hosted a charity ball held in honor of Believe in Magic, an organization that supports terminally ill children. Both Tomlinson and Payne got in a bidding war at the charity ball, which resulted in Tomlinson donating £10,000 for Payne's face to be painted. He personally donated £2 million to Believe in Magic, while collectively he and Payne donated over £5 million. Fellow band members Niall Horan and Harry Styles could not attend the event, but also donated items to be auctioned off for Believe in Magic. Tomlinson has been involved with charity work for several years. He has been thoroughly involved with Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice and is one of their patrons. Tomlinson tends to get active social media to help boost support and awareness for his charity work. For his 23rd birthday, One Direction fans established a donation drive for Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice and set the bar high for the donation target. Tomlinson also turned to social media along with some of his family members for the charity Neve's Next Step. This gained the charity several hundred followers on their Twitter account, which drew in more awareness to the cause. During One Direction's hiatus, Tomlinson wants to increase his charity work with his newly found free time. He says about the charity work, "Being my age and being able to be in a position where I can help people out and give opportunities to other people is the most exciting thing to me." In April 2016, Tomlinson was announced to be joining the Soccer Aid 2016 star lineup and biennial fundraiser for the children's organisation UNICEF. He played for the England squad alongside Robbie Williams, Ollie Murs, Paddy McGuinness, Jack Whitehall, Marvin Humes, John Bishop and others on 5 June 2016. Tomlinson played against his bandmate Niall Horan, who appeared for the rest of the world team. Personal life. Tomlinson's parents, Troy Austin and Johanna Polston, split when he was a toddler. He is estranged from his father. He has 4 half-sisters from his mother's second marriage to Mark Tomlinson, Charlotte, Lottie, Felicite, Fizzy, and identical twins Daisy and Phoebe, who had roles as babies in the television series Fat Friends alongside their brother. Mark and Johanna divorced while Louis was competing on The X Factor. Tomlinson has another half-sister, Georgia, from his father's second marriage. It was announced in October 2013 that his mother Polston was expecting twins with her fiancé, Daniel Deakin. She gave birth to a set of fraternal twins, Ernest and Doris, on 12 February 2014. Polston married Deakin on 20 July 2014. On 7 December 2016, his mother died at the age of 43, after battling leukemia for more than a year. In July 2015, it was reported that Tomlinson was expecting a baby with 23-year-old former stylist, Brianna Jungwirth. On 4 August 2015, on Good Morning America, he confirmed the reports. Their son Freddie Rain was born in January 2016. Tomlinson has stated in numerous interviews that he enjoys fatherhood and is looking forward to having more children in the future. On 4 March 2017, Tomlinson was arrested for battery after attacking a paparazzo at Los Angeles International Airport. He was booked and subsequently released on $20,000 bail. He was later due in court on 29 March 2017. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?